Hey guys, welcome to Mediocre Arts and Crafts. I'm Bug. Thanks for joining me to make this little cardstock album today. Before we get started, you know what to do. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hype this video. You get 3 hypes a week, and hitting the hype button for your smaller content creators pushes them out to more people. Hey guys, welcome back. Today's project is a beginner-friendly mini album or junk journal. It starts with just 3 pages of cardstock. I'm going to be using Neenah Exact Index. It's 110 pound, but you can use any cardstock. You could potentially make this out of regular copy paper if you like. You'll see that I add some layers to kind of stabilize it. As I go through this, keep in mind that you really only need these 3 pieces of white paper to make the base. I am going to add some plain colored cardstock, and then eventually I'm going to add this mercantile pad. This is a Cartabella pad, and Stephen Duncan is my favorite paper designer. But let's get started with our white paper. So I started with 3 pages of 8.5 by 11 white paper. I'm gonna link my favorite cardstock, the Exact Index by Neenah, in the description box below in case anyone wants to check it out. The price does fluctuate, so take a look at that price tracker, price history link. So we are going to first cut all 3 of the pages down to where they are 6.5 by 11. You're going to set 2 of them aside, and on this one you're going to cut off 1 inch from the length, so it is 6.5 by 10. If you don't have a scoreboard, you can still make this project. I would suggest just kind of watching how the paper gets folded and manipulated, and you could do this without a scoreboard and either follow these score marks using a ruler, or you can really design it however you want and fold it wherever you want and just glue it all together. I don't know if that's helpful or not. Is that helpful? Not helpful. So we have the 2 pieces that are 6.5 by 11. The first one we are going to score at 2 inches. And the next we're going to score it at 6.5. So that's 2 score marks on this one. Our next piece that is 6.5 by 11, we're going to score it at 1 inch. We're going to score it at 5.5 and 6.5. Oop, 6.5. So that is 3 score marks at 1, 5.5, and 6.5. Now we're going to take our shorty, and this one we are going to score at 4.5 and 9. That's 2 marks, 1 at 4.5 and 1 at 9. Now you're going to take your time, going to fold them up, burnish them with your bone folder or the side of your scissors or the back of a butter knife or just your fingers, whatever works for you. You don't really have to worry about at this point which way you're scoring them, because we're going to manipulate them a little bit as we go. This one I scored earlier. Okay. And we have our 3 pieces. We're going to start with the one that has the 2-inch section here on the left-hand side. We're going to flip it so it's over here. We could have actually started that way. It doesn't really matter. But we're going to have this 2-inch section on the right. And you'll see that if you fold it, the end of this paper will settle just right into the fold here. So now we have our 2-inch section. Next, we're going to take this page that has a 1-inch section here and then a 1-inch section in the middle. We're going to take these 2 sections and we're going to glue them together. So I am going to just take my glue stick. I'm going to glue this 1-inch section, and you can glue it in the front or in the back, whichever works for you. Actually, I'm going to glue it on the front. So I'm just going to line them up. So now you have something that can be folded this way. And then there's a 2-inch spine. This folds in just like that. And it's just like a little book. You got a 2-inch spine on this side and a 1-inch spine on this side. But we're going to go a little bit further. Going to reopen that and just lay it out just like we just glued it. We're going to take this last piece. We're going to take this 1-inch section and we're going to glue it at the very end here. Same thing, front or back. Just going to add glue to this one section. Line it up, fold it in. So now, starting from the right side, we're going to fold 1, 2, 3. You have your 1-inch spine here. And then on this side, we have 1, 2, and that is the base of our book, really. So you have a 2-inch spine here, a couple pages that come in this way. You have these pages that fold kind of into this 1-inch spine. And this is what it looks like. So that is the start of your book. So you can take this and you can take your inky papers and your painty papers and your scrapbook paper and whatever you like and start applying it. You can do collage and it'll make just a nice little book that just has some interesting folding. What I'm going to do today though is I'm going to cover it with a plain colored cardstock, a solid cardstock that matches the 6x6 paper pad. So this design is created to optimize the 6x6 paper pad. I say optimize, we are going to be cutting off some sections, but it will use the full 6-inch height of the paper pad and give us some offcuts to use for decoration. I like to make little ones like this, you know, because we know that 6x6 is common, and they pop up from time to time where, you know, like I really have to have some of this paper. I like to have one of these ready to go, and I can just keep a couple of them on hand, and it's easy to just grab and go and cover it with the paper. Now, like I said, I am going to be using some solid cardstock here, because when you're making, in my opinion, when you're making a mini album that is more of a scrapbook or photo album and less of a junk journal style, one of the things that really makes it look finished and polished is to have straight lines and layers. And so I'm going to go ahead and cover each one of these pages with a piece of cardstock that is 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. So 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, I cut a bunch so that one goes on each page. Then I have 2 larger strips. These are 6 1/4 by 1 3/4, so that will go on this 1-inch spine. And then I made 2 that are 6 1/4 by 3/4 of an inch, and those will go on the front and back of this 1-inch spine. The added bonus of layers of cardstock, especially if you're using a cardstock that's like Cartabella or one of the heavier weight scrapbook papers, is that it adds stability. And so when you grab the book, when this is done, it's going to feel like a very sturdy book. It's not going to feel like a couple pieces of cardstock that are glued together. So let's glue these down. I'm just gonna glue them down, probably go pretty quick because you know how to glue. You can use your glue stick for this, or you can use whatever adhesive that you like. I am going to use my art glitter glue. And because of the way this is designed, there will be basically a border on all 4 sides. So just take your time and eyeball that border. And then you get a little bit of the cheerleader effect. If it is not exact, once you get everything down, you're not really gonna notice it unless you're measuring it for some reason with a ruler. But who would do that? Look, it's starting to look like it's coming together. The thing that I wanted to do here is make some notes for the last part of this build. There's a lot of room in here. You can see there's a lot of room for growth. So I want to add a top loading pocket here. And basically, when I cut down this paper to be 6x4, this Post-it just reminds me to only glue it on 3 sides. That way I can put something in at the top. And then I also want to do a pocket here. So that is just going to remind me when I do my 6x4 piece of designer cardstock, I'm going to cut it in the middle so that it is so that it opens and I can put something in behind it. And then if you like, you can also do a pocket somewhere in here. You could probably do pockets on each of these pages, but I really wanted to leave the majority of it blank. So let's see. I think I'll do it right here. And this is where you might put any other notes with your little Post-its. Put waterfall, so you remember that you're going to build a waterfall somewhere, or if you want to use a magnet to magnet maybe a photo mat, then you could put magnets underneath here. So I would write one Post-it that says magnets, and then I would glue the opposite side magnets under this paper. That sort of thing. Take a look, see what kind of fancy things you want to do. If there are no fancy things, then we're just going to get to chopping up our paper pad. So we're going to be cutting 12 6x4 pages, then 2 6x1 1/2 inch strips, and then 2 at 6x1/2 inch. So I just layered up the cardstock. I chose this "Sorry We're Closed" sign. I thought it was kind of funny to put it on the front there. One of the little cutouts. And inside you can see that I just used some tags from my own stash. I put some of the cut-aparts in these little pockets. So that goes like this, and then this one opens this way. I missed something. Here I have a side pocket, so you can see that I put a little tag in there. And here's the other pocket. I made a little belly band out of one of the offcuts. The ledger paper. This one has a hidden pocket. If you wanted to tuck this all the way in, you could put your photos or your top secret messages or your mad money in there. And then it just closes up just like this. So, and you can definitely see by the end of layering it all up and putting it all together that it is very sturdy and looks nice. If you're interested in picking up this mini album, just let me know.